Hey guys, welcome to Obsessive Car Desires, and as always I hope all is good. So today I have with me the Maruti Suzuki WagonR. So this is the previous model and we are going to review this car today. But before that, those who have not subscribed, please quickly subscribe and press the bell icon to get the latest updates. Also follow our Instagram page to never ever miss any update. So let's start with the review. This is one of the best selling car of Maruti Suzuki and it was introduced in the year 1999, and this is the second generation. So it was launched in the year 2010. Now starting with the grille, there is a big Suzuki logo at the center and there are 3 strips, out of which the topmost strip is of chrome and the 2 strips are all black. You can actually check the center point of the car below the Suzuki monogram where the grille is getting discontinued, and below there is again a mesh which is for the natural air cooling of the radiator. And this is the headlamp. This is a halogen headlamp having the standard halogen bulb, and this is the indicator, and this is the parking light which is blue, because of which this car is called as a blue-eyed boy. Now coming down, there are fog lamps which are round in shape and also they have the halogen bulb, and there are 2 strips which are getting connected with the mesh of the radiator. Also if you check on the bonnet, there is a center line which is dividing the bonnet into 2 parts. Now this is the engine bay of the car. This is a K series engine which is 998cc and is producing power of 67 bhp at 6200 rpm and max torque of 90 Newton meter at 3500 rpm. So the engine bay is very small. It has been very compact as compared to the length of the car. The hood is also very light. So let's now check out the tires of this car. So these are basically the wheel caps. These look like the alloy wheels, but basically these are the wheel caps. So now the tire size is 155/65 R14. That means these are 14-inch tires which are supported by steel wheels which are black in tone, and these are aftermarket wheel caps which are 3D and which almost looks like an alloy wheel, but basically these are plastic wheel covers. Talking about the suspensions, the front suspensions are McPherson strut type with coil spring, and the rear suspensions are isolated trailing link with coil springs. There is a separate indicator, and this is the ORVM. The ORVM doesn't come with the side indicator integrated into it. So this is the side view of the car. This was the only hatchback back in 2010 which was having the inbuilt roof rails. And now talking about the wheelbase, it is 2400 mm and the length of the car is 3595 mm, as well as the height is 1670 mm. This car is always in the talks because of its height, so it has a good height. We will see it later from inside. The B pillar used to come in the same color. The handles were also body colored because this car is top variant. Ground clearance is also good. It is 165 mm. The car can easily pass through small potholes and speed breakers. Now this is the rear view of the car. So the width of the car is 1475 mm. So there will be difficulty for the third person. We'll check it later. Now this is the center stop lamp, the washer. These are the defogger lines. This is the rear wiper. There is a Suzuki logo at the center as well. Then the WagonR badging is given on the number plate garnish with this chrome. This is the Maruti Suzuki logo. This is the VXI badging, that is the top variant badging. There were no reverse parking cameras or sensors mandatory back in 2010. Now talking about the rear lamps, this is the reverse parking light, the brake light, and this is the indicator as it is blinking. So this is the illuminator, and at the bottom there is the rear fog lamp. There is a reverse parking camera which is installed aftermarket. Do you know the rear fog lamp feature was given only for Swift, Dzire, WagonR and the Ertiga. Obviously it was the first edition. Now they have removed it. Now this is the boot of this car. The boot can be opened with the key manually, or there is a switch ahead near the driver's seat. So this is the parcel tray, and this is the 180 liters of boot space. It is not much. The required depth is also not available. If you remove the parcel tray, then 2 check-in luggage bags can be accommodated because of the height. And if you check the seats is a full bench. There is no split. And now this is the spare wheel with a steel rim which is all black, and the size is kept same, which is R14. This is all about the boot. So guys, please let me know in the comment section what do you think about the size of the boot. And this is the key. So from here you can open it. There is a handle provided beneath the number plate garnish. Do you guys know anything about the VLT ratio, that is visibility light transmittance ratio? Please check it on my Instagram profile. So this is the rear door from inside. The window is partitioned into a quarter glass which is fixed and is taking the 25% area, and the 75% area is being taken by the window, which you can roll it down. This is the handle. The wooden paneling over the power window switch is an aftermarket accessory. This area is having a soft fabric. Below there is just a speaker and there is no arrangement for keeping a bottle or any other goods. So this is the interior view of the rear seat. So now let's get inside. As usual, the front seat has been positioned according to a normal person's height, and this is the leg room provided. So the leg room is quite okay. The lumbar support is also fine. Just check out the headroom. It is enormous, and this is one of the perks for buying this car. The center tunnel is almost flat, so a third person can easily sit in. Now this is the other side door and the handle for the passenger. In this car, interestingly, there are two cabin lights provided. So this is for the rear people to get visibility at night, and also you can access the boot. There is no handrest provided for the rear passengers. The seat cushioning is also very comfortable, and one important thing is all the four headrests are adjustable. So that is a positive point. This is the dashboard. So it looks very simple and very elegant as well. So all the wooden textures you are seeing at is a set. Just check out, guys, how much wide the door opens. So it will not be a problem for any person to get inside and get out. Also the height is not as much. So this is the door handle. This is the lever for operating the ORPM, and these are the controls for power windows. There is a space here, and this is a speaker. There is a quarter glass as well to get more visibility. Now this is a lever to operate the reclination angle of the seat. These two levers are for operating the boot and the petrol lid as well, and there is a switch to open the boot. So now let's get in. Now first let's start the car. So here I am starting it. No start stop button, as it was not available in these cars back in 2010. This is the 3-spoke steering wheel, and there are no controls on the steering wheel. Only there are two silver strips on both the edges, and the wooden thing which you are seeing is a aftermarket accessory. So this comes in the set which I was talking about. So the horn can be accessed from here. This is the horn. The steering is very light and is easy to maneuver. Also there is a Suzuki logo at the center, and now these are the controls for operating the wipers. The wipers are very quick and clean the glass quickly. There is a 3-point washer given so that the water gets equally distributed throughout the glass and helps the wipers clean the surface. As usual, this is the lever to control the headlamps, indicators, fog lamps, and the parking lights. Now this is the instrument cluster. So there are 3 dials. The left hand side dial is for the tachometer, the center dial is for the speed, the right hand side dial is for displaying any irregularities in the normal functioning of the car. So there are indicators there. Below the speedometer there is a MID strip which displays the odometer, fuel meter, and it can be controlled with the help of the lever on the right hand side. So these were the indications I was talking about. Once you start the car, all the indications will be gone, but if there is any irregularity, the indicator will continue to display in the area. Now this is a lever for adjusting the height of the steering. So there is no reach, only you can set the height. On the right hand side of the steering there are some buttons, and there is a space to keep some stuff like coins, or you can also keep a small wallet inside. So this is a air blower, the AC blower. Below the blower there is a very compact slide for keeping cups, that is you can use it as a cup holder, and it goes inside whenever you don't want to use it. Below it there are some buttons. One of them is the alarm switch, so you can turn it off from here. Beside it there is a headlight leveler and a rear fog lamp switch as well, and there are some dummy switches given. So now let's move on to the infotainment system. So this is the aftermarket infotainment system. Generally an inbuilt system was installed, but the owner has removed it and installed this one to access the rear camera. So as I have told you, there is a rear camera installed aftermarket. Now these are the controls for AC, which is to be operated manually, and it is a common or standard arrangement, so I will not go deep into it. If you guys can see, there is a bottle holder there, so you can keep a small bottle of 500 ml. I will put on some light to get a better clarity. So here it is, there is a bottle holder and you can keep some coins there in the second compartment. There is only one bottle holder provided here. And now this is a gearbox. It is a 5-speed manual gearbox and the gears are very smooth to operate and get engaged easily. Now this is a manual handbrake. Basically this car is having a dual tone interior, a combination of grey and black. Now this is the IRPM, which is not dimmable, and this is the front cabin light, which is very powerful. Co-passenger sun visor with a mirror, and there is a ticket holder here for the driver. Now talking about the safety, a WagonR has scored 6.93 points out of 17 for adult occupant protection and 16.33 points out of 49 for child occupant protection. So this has been graded by the global NCAP, and for your information, this car is not having any airbags. It was optional basically. So guys, that's all from my side. Till then, stay tuned, stay safe, and as always, drive safe, and please do subscribe. It is seen that 75% of the people who are watching this video have not subscribed, so please quickly subscribe. And those who want to get their car featured on my YouTube channel, please let me know in the comment section, or you can DM me on my Instagram, or you can write a mail to us. So till then, stay tuned, stay safe, and as always, drive safe. Tada!